11.
Okay, that's... Jeez.
11.
And this...
Do we want the old stock in here, or the sticky monkey?
We probably want
11.9
Probably want
Eclipse.
these.
Ooh, just kidding.
Okay.
Hey, bartender, take the keys to my car. There's no place to go. I'm happy right where we are. 'Cause I'm a bar stool tender, potential fender bender. You're a genius with a bottle and a blender. You're a star.
Hi, Steve Savage here. Welcome back for another episode of the Barstool Tender. I have been a craft beer fan for a long time. In fact, I consider myself a craft beer tourist. I would go all over the world and I would use Find Craft Beer as an app on my iPhone to find local and delicious craft beers. Not too long ago at the Mendocino or at the Anderson Valley Beer Festival, I was exposed to a bourbon barrel aged stout. Ballast Point brought Sea Monster Stout, and it was incredible. And then the next year, 5 more breweries were making barrel-aged beers, and then more and more and more. So I thought it would be great to start off tasting some great craft barrel-aged beers from around, well, I have it from around the world. So let's get started. I'd love to introduce you to a couple friends who've joined me today. Blair Howard from the Green Belt Brewers Association and my good friend David Haight. Both of them home brewers, both of them beer aficionados, and both of them very, very good and close friends. So the first beer, gentlemen, first beer we're going to try is an Eclipse. From 50/50. I know you're waiting for this. These are all getting warm as we try them. They made me promise. I've taken some of the wax off. Let me pour a little for each of you. I won't pour so much that you can't taste the next one.
Yes, thank you.
Okay? And of course, we are certainly going to pour a little for my friend Carl, who's filming. Carl?
Rewards.
Okay then. So, probably
Get
should
yourself
put some
some,
in my
yeah.
glass. Exactly. Here, let me take care of those. All right. So, here we are with an Eclipse Elijah Craig. It's 6 months in a barrel. What they do is yearly, they brew their Imperial Stout. They brew it in April, March, and then they they age it, and then they put it in barrels for 6 months. And in December, they have a Eclipse release party. This will be their 10th year. So this is from the 9th year version. It's Elijah Craig. Should take a sip of that. Oh, the bourbon comes right through on that. That is really delicious. Now, I got exposed to this at the Davis Beer Shop one day. I was just shopping, looking around, and I saw all these different color wax Eclipse bottles. And I found that they had about 7 or 8 different kinds of barrels that they aged it in. From rye to bourbon, they had some coffee barrels, rum barrels. They've tried a lot of different things. Vanilla barrel last year. So I bought one, I brought it home. Well, my wife saw the bill. It was a $30 beer. And I had to explain to her how delicious and important this beer was. She was truly not impressed. So I had to hide it in other purchases so that she didn't notice it for as many times as I could get away monthly until they ran out of Eclipse. But the thing about a darker beer, especially higher alcohol, is you can cellar it. And I cellared it. I put it away in Fort Bragg until Christmas the next year. And at Christmas time, I brought it out. And I poured it 2 little snifters of it, brought it over to her. She takes a little sip. Oh, that's good. It was the Elijah Craig, by the way. She goes, "Oh my God, this is delicious. What is it?" And I told her it's called permission. Because I told her the next year I was going to be buying 7 of these 7 different Eclipses, so that I would have all the different kinds of barrels. Well, she did not actually budget for it. It was really a damn shame. She said it would have to come out of the grocery money, and that was a bit of a discussion. But what happened was we went to a Stevie Wonder concert. She budgeted money for the Stevie Wonder concert, and it was a great show. He puts on an amazing show. And afterwards, her sister Peggy said, "By the way, this is a Christmas/birthday present for you, my guest. Thank you for coming with me." And it was great. And on the car ride home, my wife said, "Wasn't Peggy nice to take us to Stevie Wonder?" And I said, "Well, wasn't Peggy nice to buy us 7 wonderful beers?"
Here.
Because that's what I used that budgeted money for that year, and not a moment's regret.
No.
Okay, so what do you think? Thoughts on the beer?
Yes.
Flavors that you're getting? Anything like that?
It's interesting. It as you take a sip, initially you get the aging, and then the chocolate malt comes through later in the back of the palate. And so the complexity. It takes a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to be a little patient, I guess, to get the whole thing.
Yeah. There is a bit of that alcohol burn right at the end,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good to remind you that there is 11.
It is an
11%
adult
there.
beverage.
11.9%.
Yes.
You can't have too many of those.
Mm-mm.
All right.
One can be too many.
Not without Air Uber.
Well, now this I've been waiting for a long time to try. From the Trip in the Woods series, which is of course barrel aged by Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada is Chico, California.
Yes.
Oh.
It's a good sound.
All right, that is a good sound. This is their maple scotch. So maple syrup and barrel aged. And let me have your glass,
Yes, of
sir.
course.
We'll get that started.
So Trip in the Woods, does this
Yeah.
describe what happens after
Are you
join
ready
the
over
band?
there? Very good, sir. We can't have the camera too steady.
Yeah. Keep happy.
Okay. So, I'm not getting the maple on the nose.
It is different though. Taste different sugars.
That is tasty. I get a little of the syrup kind of on the finish.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit thinner as far as the body.
It's thinner, you're right, and the
Right.
sugars are a little more mellow,
Well,
a bit more subtle.
it's a Scotch ale. It's not a imperial stout.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a little bit thinner.
Right.
And good wee heavy. It's still pretty high in alcohol. So I think we have 11% here.
Yes.
So great.
Yeah.
More than a
Very
Trip in the
tasty.
Woods.
More than a trip in the woods. Well, I can see that this tasting is going to go quite well. It's going to get a little more loose as we go along, but so shall we all.
Indeed.
This is a really very tasty. I'm not getting as much wood.
No, you don't. You don't get the wood aging as much. But it's very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It was very smooth. In fact, if it warmed up, I think I would like it maybe a little better if it even warmed up a little.
True.
Yeah, there's a great story that comes from Sierra Nevada. Back in the old days, they used to take their spent grain to a local farm. And cows actually learned the color of the truck. So that when they saw the truck with the spent grain coming, they actually surrounded it one day. And tell me we don't have happy cows and cows.
Yeah, yes. We definitely do.
Okay. And now we're going to the Central Coast, Firestone Walker. You been to their brewery?
Yeah, been down to the Barrel Works down there. It's quite a nice facility. They've got huge, what do they call them, boaters, the Belgian style,
Yeah.
big barrels, and they've gotten in more traditional, American oak and bourbon barrel aging project. They do the sours and the sort of more neutral.
And for our audience, where are they located?
That one's in Buellton. They're also in
Right.
Paso Robles.
Right,
But yes, it's
Paso Robles.
central coast down there. Quite a nice scenery and a nice brewery.
And our Cal Poly students enjoy them regularly.
yes, I'm quite sure. Yeah.
One's of age, of course.
Yes.
There you go.
And the ones who can afford it too.
That's right, that's
You're
true.
talking about not a cheap bill.
Right. These are a little eclectic.
Yeah. No,
So tell me about Sticky Monkey.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I picked that one up. I was excited to see it again. I bought a bottle last year when I was down there and really enjoyed it. Like it was a sort of the made up category of a Belgian quad. I don't think that's historically accurate, but
Yeah.
definitely I appreciate the using the barrel Belgian yeasts, and seeing how that sort of plays with the barrel aging process and whatnot. But yeah, it's got some different sugars. So we've
got a
had
whole mouthfeel.
yeah,
it's really got something
totally
going
different.
on.
Yeah, I don't know if they've got anything other than malt in this one, and the maple in the last
Yes.
one, turbinado sugar from Mexico
Right.
in this one.
Oh, okay.
So each one of those sugars is probably adding its own thing.
Right. Its own
Right.
distinct flavor. Taste has much more malty flavor.
I'm almost getting a hint of banana in the background.
That's probably the Belgian yeast. Yeah.
That's a Sticky Monkey.
Yeah, it definitely has that. I mean, much more caramel flavor to it.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely quite sticky.
Well, it's quite good. It's quite good. I actually happened across them because I went to the winery, and they said, "Well, you need to go to our brewery," because I was driving. When we do wine tasting, I drive. When we do beer tasting, my wife drives.
Ooh, what a
So,
wonderful symbiosis.
It really does work well, because I just forego the wine. I'm not as big a wine aficionado as she is. Of course, some of my work takes me to Napa County, so I've acquired a taste.
Sacrifices must
Yeah.
be made.
The learning process is long and wonderful, and I believe in being a lifelong learner is important.
Indeed.
But I was actually hunting.
'Cause I'm a barstool tender, potential first offender, and you're a genius with the bottle and a blender. Your style